Hi everyone. Today I'll be covering the topic of the Cold War. It's basically what kind of attitudes existed at the time in America and what domestic changes these attitudes may have caused. Since we're going to be talking about the Cold War, there are some things you should be familiar with. That would be communism, the Red Scare, and this dude named Joseph McCarthy. When it came to communism, it should be obvious that America was really against it. People would be scared to even educate people about it because they wanted to make sure that every mention of it was seen as negative as possible. Whenever communism was mentioned, it was always surrounded by words like evil and immoral. In this particular example, this anti-communist activist by the name of Fred Schwarz compared the teaching communism to the teachings of diseases like cancer and tuberculosis. Again, making sure to keep communism viewed as an idea founded on values of immorality and as a direct threat to the American people. From this, it's clear to see that attitudes during Cold War weren't great, especially when titles like these are undoubtedly trying to create fear in the people reading them. With phrases like communism's out to destroy you, it's not hard to see why people would be afraid. I don't really blame them though. The US and the Soviet Union were both stockpiling tons of nuclear weapons, and the idea of a nuclear war breaking out was terrifying, not just for Americans and Soviets, but for anybody in the world. And despite what some newspapers try to say, with this example stating many Americans believe, blindly, that an all-out nuclear war would be the end of the world and the end of civilization, it would be neither. I'm sure we all know this would not be the case. With estimates of nuclear warheads at a time at a casual 69,000 at their peak during 1986, and with the Soviets having an estimated 45,000. To put that into perspective, the US population of 1986 was 240 million, meaning that for every 5,000 people, there was a Soviet warhead ready to go. So, what did severe communism change for American society? Well, for starters, there were these anti-communist trading cards that were made for the sole purpose of telling people about how evil communism was. These cards would be targeted towards children, which is interesting since educating our children to see a group of people as a murdering red menace is strange, to say the least. Another change that this fear caused was that people were able to take advantage of it. This is when Joseph McCarthy comes in. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's an American senator who basically got up and told everybody, I have a list of people who are communists in the government, but I won't say who they actually are because I don't want to waste your time. Wait, what? Now, understandably, people were shocked to hear the news. How could that be? Has the US really been infiltrated by communism? What's going to happen to us? Now, as APUSH students, I think we can tell something is off with this. Why not just tell who they are? Why even do this whole public announcement? Wouldn't it just be better to deal with a problem like this privately? Well, that's because the list he had was probably empty. Creating a sense of panic is probably exactly what he wanted to do. Even if he didn't actually have a list of communists, just the thought of it alone was enough to get people scared. Couple this with the fact that there had been someone by the name of Alger Hiss convicted of spying for the communists, people actually found what he said to be, in some part, believable. Alright, well, that's it. I hope you've learned something, and maybe consider the fact that while the US was still focused on protecting their own freedom, they found the idea of people following other forms of beliefs completely immoral, as well as the society as a whole. Alright, bye.